Hello and welcome to video tutorial 9. This video tutorial will show you how to install and configure KVM on CentOS. What a KVM is a kernel virtual machine, so you can have multiple virtual machines running on your server. Each virtual machine can have its own service or it could be a workstation. How I'm going to set mine up are going to be services as a DNS server, a domain controller, and so on. First thing you have to note is if you're running a virtual machine and you're trying to install a KVM, this will not work, as virtual machines currently do not support having virtual machines running inside of the virtual machine. Also, if you're not running a 64-bit processor, this will not work as well. So let's go ahead and log into our server. Put in my password here, and you'll want to run this command: egrep vmx or svm -- color equals always /proc /cpu info. What this will do is it will highlight either VMX or SMX, and as you can see, mine has highlighted VMX. VMX is if you're running a Intel 64-bit processor that supports virtual handling, and SMX is for the AMD versions. If yours does not come back with a reply, then unfortunately you will not be able to run KVMs, and you'll have to upgrade your server to a different processor, a 64-bit processor that can handle virtual processing. The next thing I have to warn you is, since we can't install these on a virtual machine, this will have to go into your live environment. So if you have a spare or a fresh install, that would be okay, because if anything goes wrong, you can always reinstall, or hopefully you have backup turned on. You can refer to a previous state. So let's get on with it. We'll have to install a couple packages here, so we'll do a switch user to root, and we'll yum install qemu, so qemu -kvm python -virt inst. We'll have to install the virt manager. We'll have to install virt top, the virt -viewer, the libvirt, and the libvirt -client. And we'll press enter, and it'll start to download the packages. I'm going to pause the video to speed up the downloads. Alright, it does look like my installs have finished here, so we'll continue. We're going to check and see if the KVM was loaded into our modules. So we're going to list mod with ls mod, and then we're going to grep it KVM. It should return that the KVM is loaded. If it did not, then you'll probably want to do a mod probe. So mod probe KVM. Mine is loaded, as yours should be as well. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check our disk here. So we'll do a df -h. As you see that my root directory here has 50 gigs and my home directory has 20 gigs. I suggest doing this on a server that has more than the 75 gigs I have overall. If you do have a partition that is bigger, you'd want to create a symlink to that directory. I'll go ahead and describe how that works, as I'm just going to use the standard root directory here because of the folder that our images go into. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that nothing's in your libvirt images directory. So I'll do an ls/var/lib/libvirt/images. As you can see, there's nothing in mine. There shouldn't be anything in yours. Now you're going to want to make a directory to the path that you want to create the symlink. So you'd want to mkdir -p, and let's say that you're going to put it in the home directory. So let's do /home/qmu/images, and then you'd press enter to make that directory. And then you're going to want to change the ownership of that directory to the qmu process. So you'd want to change owner, or chown -R qmu.qmu /home/qmu, and then you'd press enter to give the ownership. Then you're going to want to change the context of SELinux or SE Linux. To do that, you'll want to do change context, or chcon space --reference /var/lib/libvirt/images, and then you want to give that to the /home/qmu. And you'd press enter. What this does is it allows SE Linux to take the context of the var/lib/libvirt images folder and add it to the home qmu folder. And after we've done the context change, we'll have to do another context change again. So chcon -s reference /var/lib/libvirt/images to the /home/qmu/images directory. That will give the context of the var/lib/libvirt images to the home qmu images directory. After we're done with that, we want to go ahead and remove the directory, the initial directory. So you would want to do an rmdir/var/lib/libvirt/images. This will completely remove this directory, so definitely make sure there's nothing in the directory. Now you will want to make a symlink, or a symbolic link, that will basically tell KVM, if you're looking for this folder, place everything into this folder. So how we do that is we have to do an ln-s, so that's link-symbolic /home/qmu/images will be linked as if it's /var/lib/libvirt/images. And you'd press enter. Now, if you had to do this, you could change directory to the /var/lib/libvirt directory, and then you'd press enter to change the directory, and then you do an ls-l, and yours is going to look different. The images here will actually point to the directory we just made it a symlink to. So after we've made the symlink, we're going to want to bridge our network. Now, in order to bridge our network, we have to make sure network manager is not on, because we're going to have to set a static IP in. So you would want to check service, capital N network, capital M manager, status. Mine is stopped, so if yours is on, you would type in stop, and you'd press enter. Then you're going to want to make sure that the network manager is not going to be running in the future on boot. So check config, network manager, off, and then you'd press enter. And after you did that, you would want to make sure that it's off, so --list, and you can see that it's off in all instances. If you need help with setting up static IP on your workstation or server, please view the video tutorial 8, as that covers configuring a static IP. So we're going to jump into configuring our network interface here. So we're going to vi/etc/network/network-scripts/ifcfg-eth0 and press enter. If you followed my instructions earlier, you should have several items in here. What we're going to want to do is we're just going to go down here to the bottom after on boot and press enter, and we're going to add bridge equals BR0. So that's our bridge. And then we'll WQ and force to quit. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a new configuration for the BR0. So we'll do vi/etc/network-scripts/ifcfg-BR0. Press enter. As you can see, I already have one here. Yours should be empty, so you'll want to type in device, all capital here, equals BR0, type equals bridge, and bridge does have to have a capital B. If not, then it will not start up. We'll want to do on boot equals yes. We'll want to do protocol equals DHCP, as that will automatically give our BR0 a IP address. We're going to want to turn on spanning tree protocol, so STP equals yes. And we don't want to delay, so delay equals 0. We're done. Shift:/WQ, exclamation point to force the right. Now, the next thing we want to do is restart our network service. So service, network, restart. Just shut down our services and our NIC cards and bring them back up. So we should now be able to do a IP ADDR show BR0, and it should show us an IP address. And mine does. 192.168.1.104/24. If we do a BRCTL show, this should show us the bridge name of BR0. It's got a bridge ID. It's using spanning tree protocol off the interface of ETH0, which means all is well for now. The next thing we want to do is we want to insert a rule into our IP tables to allow network to that bridge. By doing this, we'll just type in IP tables dash capital I, capital forward, space, M for physical device, so PHYSDEV dash dash phys dev dash is dash bridged. space dash J, capital accept, and press enter. Next thing I want to do is service IP tables save, and then we're going to do service IP tables restart. Everything went well. Our firewall rules have successfully went down in our IP tables, and then they came back up. We could look and see if IP tables dash capital L, and we see our forward chain here. We want to make sure that the bridge one here, so match phys dev is bridged, except anywhere is above the reject all, and ours is, so that definitely looks good. The next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to edit our syscontrol conf here. So let's go ahead and vi/etc/sysctl.conf line and press enter. And inside here, we're going to make sure that the disable net filter on bridges, all these are set to zeros because we don't want to disable them. So if they are set to 1, just change the 1 to a 0. After you've done that, go ahead and force the right and quit. And then now we're going to want to restart that, and how we do that is we'll do a sysctl -p/etc/sysctl.conf and then press enter. And we can see our bridges are set to 0. Now what we're going to want to do is start the libvirtd service. So service libvirtd start. And we can see that it's up and running. Let's not worry about that warning. It's okay. So KVM is now installed at this point. What we'll need to do is we'll need to make sure we have a ISO to install on our virtual machines. I'm just going to use the CentOS 6 minimal install, and how we want to do this is we want to make sure that it's in our let's put it in our temp directory. So let's just go ahead and cd/tmp. You can put it anywhere you want. I just prefer using the temporary directory here. So in order for me to get this, I'm going to get it off my website. You can get it off any of the distributions lists or whatever ISO you have, or if you already have an ISO. So I'm going to wget http://www.linuxclear.com/CentOS -6.4-x86_minimal.iso. Hopefully I spelled that right. Press enter, and it'll start downloading the image. I'm going to go ahead and press pause, as this is a even though it's a small minimal download, it still can take a while. After you have your ISO file, we can start the actual virtual machine install. Now this is a long command line, so I'll go ahead and post it in the description. So it is virt-install-name equals, and you'll put the name of your virtual machine here. I'm just going to name my DNS capital V-01, as this is going to be my DNS machine. --disk -path, or no dash, sorry, disk space path equals /var/lib/libvirt/images/ and then the name of the virtual machine hard drive, I'm just going to name mine DNS 1.img, comma, size equals 8. That specifies 8 specifies the size of the hard drive. I'm only going to do 8 gigs, so I did 8. Then we'll do hyphen RAM equals. Now this is the RAM you want to allocate to the virtual machine. And for a DNS server, 512 is enough. And then we'll do hyphen OS dash type equals Linux, as I'm doing a minimal install of CentOS, so it's going to be a Linux. Then we're going to do hyphen OS variant equals, since mine is a Red Hat Linux variant, I'm going to do RHEL 6 and then space, and then we're going to do hyphen network bridge space bridge, and then it's the BR0, and then we're going to do no graphics, so hyphen no graphics space hyphen CD-ROM equals the path to our ISO, so mine's /tmp/CentOS, and you can go ahead and tab it out after you have that. Next, we're going to press enter to start the install. If we type anything in here incorrectly, we will probably get an error. Okay, it looks like I misspelled graphics. So I will have to go back here and put an H in here, as graphics has an H in it, and press enter. Now here we'll have to quickly press tab. If you don't press tab, it will not work. So after we press tab, we'll want to put a space, console equals TTY capital S 0, and then we'll press enter again. This will start the install. Sometimes this can take a bit to get through, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this until we get to the next step. Okay, now that we're back, it did take quite a bit of time to get to this part. I'm use tab, and we're going to skip the testing, and we'll press enter. And sometimes in between these screens it does take a bit of time. I'm just going to pause until the next screen comes up each time. However, don't worry, it is pretty hardware intensive and network intensive installing these virtual machines over SSH. So I will just pause now. After a couple minute wait, we're on the next screen. We're just going to press enter for OK. And then here, we'll keep it English. If you prefer any other language, just use the up or down arrow here to do that. I'm just going to press tab to go down to OK and press enter. And then we'll wait again. That one was a little bit shorter wait. What we want to do here is we want to tab down, and we'll want to select the reinitialize all option and press enter. And I'll pause again. Okay, here we're going to want to select our time zone, so press tab and scroll through here until you find your time zone. Mine will be up here at Chicago, and once it's Chicago is the marked one, I press tab and press enter for OK. And now we'll want to put in a root password, and make sure your root password is very secure, and tab down to OK and press enter. And then here we're going to want to select, with our up and down arrows, use entire disk. So it was on replace existing disk or existing Linux system. Just going to go up to use entire disk, and we'll tab down, and then we'll press enter on OK. and I'll pause again. Okay, I guess I really didn't have to pause, as it came right back up, but I did anyways. I will tab over to Write Changes to Disk and press Enter. Now this will take a long time here, or it can take a long time. At the very end, I will show you, I'll press pause until this is done, but at the very end, I will unpause this video for a brief moment so you can see that it says 100% done, but yet it seems like the process has hung up. However, it really has not hung up. So I'm going to pause now, again. Alright, looks like our installation's about done. It took, I don't know, close to 20 minutes. Quite a long time, actually. Like I said, I just paused mine. This is the part where I told you I'd chime in. It says 100% complete, 199 of 199, but it's not going to the next step. Eventually it will go to the next step. The process is not hung up, so just allow it to do its thing. I'll go ahead and pause the video, and once mine is complete, I will unpause. Okay, that took a while. Now we just press Enter to reboot. I have had an issue after rebooting before that the console didn't come back up. So I'll pause to wait for to see if the console will come back up. Okay, it looks like my console did come up. I didn't have any trouble. It did take a little bit of time, but I paused that out. Now we'll just have to log in as the root account and put in the root password that we created. Now we're on our virtual machine. So we could do like ifconfig, and as we can see, we just have a loopback address. So we need to configure the network on this virtual machine here. So we'll just do vi/etc/sysconfig/network and press enter. And it says that our networking is up and our host name here. So we need to change the host name to whatever you want it to be. I have found that the delete button doesn't work when using VI and SSH on a virtual machine, so I just go all the way to the end and do a backspace. So this was our DNS 1v-01 server. You can put in whatever host name you want. We'll type in networking underscore IPv6 equals no. Let's add a gateway equals, in my case it's 192.168.1.1, as that is my router, and we're done there. So escape WQ. The next thing we're going to want to do is edit the network script. So let's vi etc/sysconfig/network scripts/ifcfg-eth0. Press enter. There should be a bunch of stuff in here already, but first things first is if you have this NM controlled line here, we want to take that out because we don't want it to be controlled by the network manager. So let's just go ahead and take that out. And the next thing, we want to make sure on boot is yes. And if there's a host name, make sure that there's no host name in there. We should probably change the boot protocol to static, as I'm going to be setting an IP address. We need to add the IP address, IPADR equals, and in my case I'm doing 192.168.1.202, as my DNS server will have a 202 address, and add the broadcast address equals 192.168.1.255. let's go ahead and add the network that we're on. 2.168.1.0 network. Let's go add the net mask. Equals 255.255.255.0 class C with no subnetting. And we will write these changes. After I did that, I did a clear, and now we'll want to edit the resolve.conf file. So let's go ahead and vi/etc/resolve.conf, and it looks like there's nothing in there. Let's make sure that the resolve.conf file is here. So cd/etc ls, and I do see resolve.conf, so let's cat the resolve.conf to see if there's anything in there. And no, there's not, so let's just go ahead and add the information. So vi/etc/resolve.conf, and let's add in name servers. So name servers, name server. Now you can add whatever name server you want in here. Mine do come from the OpenDNS, so I will put in 208.67.222.222 and name server 208.67.220.220. Now Google has a name server, has two actually. It's 8.8.8.8 and 8.8.4.4. You could use those as they are totally free, or you can use the ones provided by your ISP. I'm just going to save mine here, just WQ. Now, next thing we're going to want to do is we are going to want to check the status of our network service. So network service status, and it looks like the it is up and it's got some devices configured. So let's go ahead and restart it to use our current configuration. And if we did everything correctly, it should shut them down and open them back up. Do an IF config, and we can see that we have the correct IP address here. So let's ping google.com. Looks like we're pinging google.com. Let's ping a local address of my Firefly, and it looks like that's coming back good as well. So we want to make sure that our network service starts on boot of this virtual machine. So check config network -- list, and it is scheduled to turn on boot. Now let's make sure that we can SSH into the virtual machine. So what we want to do is make sure the SSH is up. So service SSHD status, and it looks like it's running. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do an IF config so I can see my IP address, and I'm going to start a new PuTTY session here. I'm going to type in 192.168.1.202, and let's go ahead and see if we can log in. Yes, here, and sign as root for now. We'll have to change that later. And look at this. we're SSH'd into our virtual machine. The virtual machine will start on boot up, so I will go ahead and log out here. Actually, let's go ahead and log back in so we can reboot the virtual machine. Therefore, it'll give it its host name. So inet 6. We'll start rebooting the server here. We can go ahead and close this putty session. Now, let's take a look at what it looks like in a GUI. So let's just go ahead and connect to our server that's hosting the virtual machines. Hopefully you have VNC installed and configured. If not, I have a video tutorial on that as well. Here we go. Here's my machine, Firefly, so I'll put in my password. And now, I always like to run the virt manager as root. So I will just open up a terminal here, and I will quickly switch user to root. And just simply type in virt-manager. It should start the virt manager. And look here, we got a DNS v-01 virtual machine, and it's running. You can open it as well. So if we click open, it will start up the console for the virtual machine at where it's currently at its current state, which right now it doesn't look to be anything. So let's go ahead and shut it down, the virtual machine. Let's go ahead and force it off. Yes. And let's go ahead and run it again. And let's open it. As you can see, it's up and running in our virtual interface here. And then the rest is up to you, what you want to do with the virtual machines. I'm going to be running this one as a DNS server. And we can go ahead and close the virtual manager and close this terminal. Here, let's cancel, let's wait. Yeah, close the terminal. Now, everything should be up and going. If you have any questions, please send them my way. Until next time, have fun.